I'm Lynn Grissett, and you're watching Musicians Reveal with Joe Kelley.
Welcome to Musicians Reveal. We are in store for a chat with the tremendous musician, world-class trumpeter, saxophonist, arranger, composer. He was part of Prince and the NPG Hornz, as well as his own collaborations with other musicians. He's joined the stage with Chic, Nile Rodgers, and many, many more. Oh, Stevie Wonder, that's right. So he's toured the world, and he's back home in North Carolina. We welcome Lynn Grissett. How you doing, Lynn?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. So when's the last time you were out on the road, or have you been staying kind of at home base?
I've been at home base for about a year now. I did a short tour with the Uptown Jazz Orchestra January of last year, and since I've been home, I've just been teaching and playing.
Oh, okay. So are you teaching at university or privately?
I taught for a year at East Carolina University.
Okay.
In Greenville, North Carolina, and I teach at several schools, middle schools, high schools, elementary schools.
So you see any potential people going to rise to the top amongst your
I
people?
do.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do.
you do.
It's this is a critical time, especially for ones that are gaining confidence and wanting to pursue music, seriously. So I try to be as encouraging as possible, but also encouraging good practice habits.
So we get off the bus, those kids, instead of heading back inside or on the computer, they got to be dedicated, I assume, right?
Well, I mean, it's up to them, really. I mean, I just try to provide examples for them, to see the results of, their hard work, like these are things that you can achieve if you put the work in at this stage in your life, because the older you get, the less time you'll have to practice and really devote
Yeah,
time.
right. Things get in the way.
hmm
Yeah, I was going to say, how were you as a kid as far as being studious on your instruments?
Well, around the time I got interested in playing in the band, I guess it's probably fifth grade. Um, it really didn't matter what instrument I got, just as long as I got a chance to play in the band. I just wanted to be in the band. So what happened a lot was me playing trumpet, but also like experimenting with other instruments. Especially during lunchtime. I was notorious for not going to lunch
Oh, wow.
and practicing.
What was your first instrument back then that you tried?
Back then, the first instrument I tried was clarinet. I
Okay.
have two older sisters, and they both played clarinet in marching band in high school. So there were these two clarinets laying around the house. So that was the first instrument I tried to mess with, and also the recorder. Like a lot of
Right.
times in elementary schools,
hmm
you have students play the recorder. So those are my first things that I messed around with.
How noisy it wasn't in the home for your parents.
Uh, wasn't too bad. I know that most evenings I had about maybe 2 hours roughly whenever I got home to where I could make noise and not bother anybody.
Right.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you what kind of music was playing in your home. What did your parents listen to?
My parents listened to all kinds of music, especially R&B, funk, um, doo-wop. You know, uh,
Okay. Wow.
my father was really big into straight ahead jazz and also smooth jazz. Big
Mhm.
funk fan. So I mean, there was always. I mean, I come from a family of music lovers. You know,
Yeah.
so there was always music playing in the house, especially if we were like one thing that my father loves to do is he loves to put on, John Coltrane and cook. You know,
Oh, okay. Every
yeah,
night?
not every night, just
Yeah.
whenever he wants to cook.
Yeah. 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 Right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool. So did you getting into music? Did you have some favorite musicians that you were kind of studying back then?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. One big one was Grover Washington Jr.,
Oh, wow.
uh,
Yeah.
John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk. Probably my first real memory of like actually listening to what I actually knew for a fact was jazz was Someday My Prince Will Come by Miles Davis. My father has that record. And so
Okay.
I would sneak and listen to those records, even though I wasn't supposed to. But that was really my first time actually hearing jazz was Someday My Prince Will Come, Miles Davis. And then I found A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. He has that record. So I became familiar with that. So everything just kind of snowballed after that, you know.
Yeah, the home studio, this is where we record, but in the living room, we have a big print of Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. People, as soon
Hmm.
as they walk in, that's the first thing they see, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing you came up in the era. I'm sure you read about it, but all the wild times of jazz in New York City and stuff. Yeah.
I had heard stories through my parents and relatives that live in New York, in particular Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I heard a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you gravitated, you were into music, and how did you decide first that you wanted to study it in college, or was it a gradual thing?
It was a gradual thing because I was really, I wanted to be an athlete, and then
Okay.
I had some injuries in high school, so kind of, made me realize that hey, playing music isn't a bad existence, you know.
Yeah.
So that's when I really started taking it seriously. Started really practicing. I mean, I would always practice, but I mean, the practicing intensified whenever I realized, well, hey, I could actually go to school for this, and
Mhm.
actually become a professional. So
Right. Right.
right. So yes,
So, so are you like Shelby J, big Carolina Panther fan?
I'm a football fan.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Panther fan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to say that people are going to watch. Yeah. No. So, yeah. And the injuries came in and you said, what am I going to do? So what was your choice to get serious about music? What was that moment like?
It was actually I didn't really think much of it other than that, I really don't want to do anything else, you know.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
right.
As far as something that I would enjoy doing for a long period of time,
Mm.
So if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when you were ready to graduate, sure, like most college kids, and things probably changed since you're ready to graduate and career wise, but did you have a moment where you got into your professional gigs right after graduation?
Um, yeah. As
Mhm.
a matter of fact, through through undergrad, I was working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was I probably started, working actually getting, a little bit of pay to play was probably 16, 17.
Right. And what town were you gigging in mostly in Carolina?
Wilmington,
Mhm.
Myrtle Beach, those Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, uh, Holden Beach, Sunset Beach, Ocean Isle Beach. Those were the areas I was able to play at different churches, different functions.
Mhm. So one thing that really stood out when I was checking out all your videos, when you're playing the saxophone, you may be the first musician I ever had on my show who played trumpet and saxophone and great at it. So how did that come into play for you?
Well, honestly, I started playing trumpet out of necessity. Whenever I signed up for middle school band, everyone and their cousin's cousin wants to play saxophone.
Okay. Yeah.
So by the time I had gotten an opportunity to sign up, all the slots were filled. And really all they had left outside of woodwinds like clarinets and flutes were trumpets.
Mm.
So I just picked up the trumpet. It was just I just wanted to be in the band so bad, as I mentioned earlier. I just wanted to do it so bad. It didn't matter what I had, just as long as I was in there. So saxophone came about shortly after trumpet. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
I would uh I would go to the music store, which was at the time across the street from Charlotte Middle School in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I would get reeds and a mouthpiece, and so I would ask, different people in the band, could I play their instrument, like, during lunch break, you know.
Right.
I promise I'd be careful, or I'd have to pay them with like pixie sticks or Jolly Rancher, things like that. So
The barter system. Yeah.
right. Well,
Yeah.
it was a fair trade,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when I started really, messing around with the saxophone.
Hmm.
And honestly, I always wanted to really play saxophone anyway. I mean, I know that it's been an issue amongst my peers from time to time, but um, that was the dream for me. Like I said, Grover Washington Jr., John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, you know. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, that's what really, to me, sparked my creativity, like real creativity, in
Right.
music. Not just being functional as like a trumpet player playing parts, improvisation, but with saxophone, it was like that just seems to fit my personality, I would say.
Now, as far as rehearsing and practicing on both of them, which do you spend more time at?
Well, trumpet definitely because the physical requirement, is something you have to do every day. So I started talking to you, I had to do some warm up routines on the
Oh,
trumpet.
okay.
So it's a daily thing, with trumpet. Once you've learned a little bit about wind and how to use it, you know, uh, then you start to relate the two instruments. Now with trumpet, you have to have it on your face every day. It's something that you have to do every day. It's just like push-ups, sit-ups, just like staying in shape if you're an athlete. Something
Mhm.
that you have to do every day. You have to be disciplined at it. Saxophone is a little less forgiving, even though you have to still put in the time and work on that as well. So really, I spend more time on trumpet because that's what I play more primarily.
Right.
And also, it requires more time to stay at a certain level playing the instrument efficiently and consistently.
Well, one of your mentors in college, I believe, was Branford Marsalis, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what class did you take with him, and how'd you develop the friendship with him?
I took a lot of private instruction with him, both at North Carolina Central and also at home.
Hmm.
Uh, he was definitely an integral part of what I'm developing on saxophone right now, for sure. Uh, he's definitely offered me more help than I could ever imagine of having,
Hmm.
and very thankful to him, to invest the time into me.
Has he put any feelers to hire you for another go at Buckshot LaFunk?
I mean, I haven't talked to him in about 2 weeks or so, so
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I guess next time I talk to him, I'll ask him about it and see how he feels about it.
Right. Right. Yeah. That just is it still going on? Jazz Fest in New Orleans right now? I know they started
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
hmm
Have you played there?
I've only attended. I've
Oh,
only
okay.
uh, I've played twice. Essence Festival in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. Superdome, right?
hmm Yes, sir.
How for a horn player playing in a huge place football stadium like that, is it difficult for the horns to get the right sound?
It can be. It
Mhm.
can be. I think that the big issue with playing in arenas that large is like the time delay. The time that the sound comes from the speakers to get to the
Oh,
audience. That all that has to be calculated. It's a
mhm.
very exact science. But I mean, with us, we had in-ear monitors most of the time, so we were able to hear the band and everybody, in Prince in real time.
That's right,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so that was helpful.
I think they started, because we were friends with John Blackwell and Rhonda Smith's been on the
Mhm.
show a couple of times. I think they started the in-ears around there. I'm not sure, do they carry that along, do you know, up until you joined the camp?
Yeah, and there would still be actual wedges on stage, but primarily would be in-ear monitors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, uh, yeah.
right. Now it's a really incredible story how the MPG horns were put together as far as Prince and the size of it. And I saw you the last show of December at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, end of December. I saw the third of 3 nights. But
Yeah.
let's tell our viewers and listeners about Prince. A lot of it on internet, right? He was checking out, found you guys piece by piece. How did it go?
I mean, honestly, it's even to this day, it's not exactly clear outside of who I was in contact with.
Uh-huh.
Marcus Anderson and Adrian Crutchfield. You know, they're very, very good friends of mine.
Okay.
Incredible musicians as well. And so they called me and asked me if I was able to do a video audition. So I think I drove down to Charlotte, North Carolina, to meet up with Adrian and Marcus and a bunch of other people, Joey Rayfield, and a bunch of other people, to do this audition video. And it was, you know, we knew that was for Prince, but we just wanted to do the video. You know, it was just, you know, it was choreography and it was I guess an update of a song that he had previously recorded. So
Extraloveable, was it?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So so we did the video and I really didn't think anything of it. You know, it was something I hadn't done before. You know, I'm coming from a straight ahead jazz background, you know, so it's a slightly different, you know, situation. So maybe a month or so passed. I remember writing with Marcus Anderson to a gig that we were playing at this place at the time called Zydeco in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
And so we were talking, and he says, you know, that video we did, you know, just understand it, you know, this could be life changing for us, you know, if it works out. And I said, well, you know, I understand that, and you know, we'll see what happens. And then shortly after that, I got a phone call. Now this was spring of 2012, so I was about to graduate from North Carolina Central,
Okay.
and it was the day after commencement. I get a phone call from Adrian Crutchfield, and he says, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" So I'm doing good, bro. How you doing, bro? I'm good. Hey, man, do you trust me? And I said, no. I'm sorry. I said no, no. I said, yeah, I have no reason not to trust you.
Uh-huh.
You know, you know, but what's going on? He says, well, can you be on a plane at 8 a.m. tomorrow? You know, for an audition. And I said, well, for who? He said, I can't tell you that. And I said, where are we going? He said, I can't tell you that. I said, okay. Can you tell me anything? He says, well, you said you trust me, right?
Uh-huh.
I said, yeah, I trust you, man. But you know, I just finished school and I got to move out of this apartment soon. So I need some sort of information on what's going on right now, you know. And he says, you said you trust me, right? And I said, yeah. He said, just send me your information and you'll have a flight itinerary within the hour. Just send it to me. And I said, man, he said, just send it to me. I said, all right. So, you know, this is totally bizarre. I never, you know. So I sent him the info, and within 30 minutes, I had a first class ticket to Minneapolis, MSP.
So it
So
started to piece together, right?
no,
Oh, still not. Yeah.
no, because you know, like I said, this is totally bizarre. Just
Mhm.
out the blue. So I'm calling Adrian. I'm calling it. He's not answering the phone. He's not answering the phone. I said, okay, all right. Well, anyways, fast forward. I go to the airport and I go to check in, and the ticket is legit. So I'm thinking, okay, so you know, because Adrian is known for elaborate practical jokes,
Oh,
pranks.
okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like this is a very expensive prank you're doing right now. You know, first class ticket at the last minute. You know,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
so anyways, I get on the flight and it doesn't dawn on me. You know, I get off the flight. Um, The guy's holding a sign with my name on it, So he brings me to this limo, which I'm thinking is going to be a bunch of people in there. I still don't know what's going on because he's not telling me anything. He's just I'm just following him, and I get in and it's a limo, but it's empty. I'm like, okay, all right, this is different,
Right.
Anyway, so we're driving, we get there, and we pull up to I guess the highway there in the corner of Audubon Drive. And and to the left, I see this huge white building, and I'm thinking like, wow, I've seen this building before. Like I know I've seen this in Ebony or Jet or Essence or something. I've seen this building before, but it didn't really dawn on me. And so pull up to this gate. He talks to someone, the driver. Gate opens up. We go in, pulls into the parking lot. He lets me out. He just leaves. He doesn't say anything. He just puts my luggage down, and then he just leaves.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm in this parking lot. There's basically nobody in the parking lot, no cars, no nothing. So I'm just out here, and I'm thinking like, when I see Adrian, I'm going to choke the life out of him, because you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but like I said, I was just totally clueless as to what the situation was. So, whew. And then I happen to turn around, and there's this person like kind of yelling out my name and waving. So I'm walking towards, and then I'm realizing that it's him, like waiting at the door. The closer I get,
yeah, right.
so I'm like, wow, okay. And so I get closer, and I realize who it is. Whew. And so he's like, "Hi, are you Lynn?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "Well, my name is Prince. You have an audition today. Everybody's waiting for you." So that's how I met him.
You didn't pass out?
I mean, the whole thing was so bizarre. I didn't really have time to get nervous. I was just like, very, very nice to meet you. I didn't expect any of this at all. So I was just rolling with it, And yeah, so we did an audition that day, and it was Extraloveable.
Oh, okay.
So it was myself in the audition. It was myself, Adrian, BK Jackson, Marcus Anderson, Joy Rayfield, and Steve Reed, trumpet player.
Right. That was in it. Yeah. What would you do? Which room? It was the performance space. I know.
Yes,
like three different spots. Large. Yeah. Who was leading the audition? Prince?
Prince was, yeah.
Okay.
And on the way in is when we met Cassandra O'Neill and LBJ, Morris Hayes, Kirk Johnson.
We just had him on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were in there, and how about the horn arrangements for that song? Who was arranging that at the time for that audition?
For that audition, I think what we were playing was something that was already arranged.
Okay.
But Phil Lassiter eventually, was able to do some things with it. Okay. But what we auditioned with was already a prearranged thing. I want to say the arrangement was by Michael B. Nelson. It might be. I really don't recall, to be honest with you. Who did?
Were you familiar with the original version?
No, I wasn't actually.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't until later that I actually listened to the original.
Yeah. How do you like them both?
I do. I mean, I love all music. I really do.
I think he wanted to change some of the lyrics out of the original. Yeah. So, but I love them both. I mean, I think the first one was recorded in 82 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So when was the and you stayed down the road at Chanhassen Inn, I think?
The Country Inn.
Country Inn. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Which has been torn down now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where we would stay the entire time that we were working at Paisley.
What was the official word that I want you guys to be my new horn section?
After probably about 3 weeks of rehearsal, maybe more. No, closer to a month actually, maybe longer. That we were out there and we were just rehearsing. We didn't really know. We were just learning music and rehearsing. We didn't know whether we were hired or fired or whatever, but it was a phone call where Adrian gathered all the horns together in his hotel room, and so we all had a more or less a conference call with Prince about what it would take for us to be in his band. So, and that's pretty much how we got hired. And really, we didn't. It didn't really register until probably Welcome to Chicago, our first show.
Oh, that's right. How bad was the sound? Because I read about it. That was a big sound issue, right?
Yes, there were sound issues, but if I recall correctly, I mean, like, you had the horns that were on a platform that was, many, many, many feet behind the main band's platform, so it was, I mean, the design of it wouldn't cater to, well, that's just my opinion,
Yeah.
just how things were placed, it was bound to sound not good,
Right.
but we sounded good, but I'm saying like the acoustics of everything.
Yeah. And the boss wasn't too happy, I heard.
No, I mean, no. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, he wasn't very happy about it. It was a very long sound check too. You put a lot of time into like dialing things in, and then when it comes down to showtime, then nothing is dialed in how you wanted it. So, it's understandable, the frustration.
Yeah, you want it to come out sounding great. You got all great musicians in music, so yeah.
Right. Especially if you take it serious. This is your craft. This is
yeah. You guys, you live for it. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Yeah. How were your first studio recording with Prince? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I remember that. We were recording the long period of recording was Shades of Umber. We recorded that, and also a Big City.
What was the first track?
Shades of Umber.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And arrangement of Big City.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if I'm not mistaken, Breakfast Can Wait. I mean, we did a lot of recording. I mean, and everything, and it wasn't like one particular record. It was like just a bunch of compositions that we were all recording.
Right. Had no idea where they were going to land. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that I learned about recording is that, like, a lot of times people they just bring in tunes and record them. It's not necessarily for any particular project or record.
Mm-hmm.
It's just recording compositions.
And when I saw you guys end of December 2013, you opened the show with Big City. So
yeah. And that was Phil Lassiter did all the horn arrangements on that. So
he did. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been busy working on music as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely producing it. A thing that's really notorious, and it's all over. It's been all over YouTube. The 3 nights at the Montreux Jazz Festival. How many songs at that point in Prince's catalog did you have to memorize yourself?
Well over 50.
Okay.
For sure.
How much advance warning before a particular show did you get? This is going to happen.
I mean, it honestly, it just, you get used to just being on call,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you'd be lucky if you got like maybe a 12-hour notice.
Yeah, not much at all.
Yeah. But I mean, it was fun. It was fun, and we learned so much, and we learned so much from each other, and learned so much from him. Just wonderful times. To play,
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of people who can say what you've been through. So, and you added to his career. So,
well, I hope so. I hope so. And he set such a high standard, which we love. We aspire to it, and we're all inspired by it.
Another thing, you mentioned about how serious you are about it, entertaining as well. You guys are moving, playing, everything's going on. I mean, there's no standing in place for the most part, dancing. How difficult was that for yourself and for everybody to get a hold of? Was that Prince's request, right?
Well, it was a requirement. It wasn't really an option with that. There was choreography,
Mhm.
especially with the horns. It's one thing to sound good, but because of the entertainment aspect, because it's a show, you want to present something as well. So yeah, that was just part of the game. I mean, we all had to be in a certain condition, certain shape. You know,
Mhm.
uh, he was very helpful with offering us alternatives to what we were eating, um, exercise, different things. We would have long choreography rehearsals. So it was all production, really.
Who decided to choose the members of the group of the Horns to have the dance off and as well with Josh?
I think that was just something that probably Marcus and Josh probably instigated.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I'd love to hear the full story. This is just my perspective.
Right. Did you have a favorite night of the three at Montreux off the top of your head?
uh, they were all equally as enchanted, for me.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, and I've always wanted to ask someone who was around that period playing with Prince. Third Eye Girl, that was one of his projects at the same time. When I saw you at the Mohegan Sun, there was a lot of trade off between Third Eye Girl and the
Mhm.
funk. And how did you deal with that? And what'd you do behind the stage when you're waiting to get back on stage?
I would honestly, most of the time, I would just be listening. I dealt with that. I viewed everything as a opportunity to learn.
Okay.
That's where I come from with all that. Um, I really enjoyed their music, all the music, really, all
Mhm.
the different bands within the band that we had. You know what I mean? I enjoyed all of it.
Well, yeah, one of my favorite tracks, I believe you worked on this one, As Trains Go By, Judith Hill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love that record. Kicks it off and
yeah. That was cool. That was cool. It was a pleasure working for her.
yeah, it always because we were friends with Bernie Worrell. It always reminds me of like a P Funk meets Minneapolis feel with a scratchy record going on.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that was nice.
yeah,
When was
yeah.
you?
Judith is incredible.
Yeah, playing the guitar now like crazy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What was you remember the last time you were in the studio recording with Prince?
Well, definitely hit and run phase 1 and 2, and
Okay. Yeah.
also artificial age. So we recorded artificial age before we did all the arrangements on hit and run phase 1 and 2. So I think the last time that I recorded with him, well, yeah, phase 2, hit and run
Phase
phase 2.
two. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
some nice songs off Stare, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, stare, and
Yeah.
let's see, I mean, we did so much. That's the thing. We had so many late night sessions. So, but I,
Yeah.
but my last recollection of recording with him while he was there in the studio was, yeah, definitely Shades of Umber, because I remember he wanted me to do some soloing
Okay.
over a section, and so he was coaching me along in the booth, in our recording. So that was, yeah, hit and run, and we recorded, and I keep saying Shades of Umber because it was a really really elaborate through composed composition. Um, we spent the most time on that, and those are my strongest memories. Uh, was definitely the hit and run recordings and Shades of Umber, which I'm pretty sure hasn't been released yet. So,
So that's something. I'm sure there's a lot of music that has
oh
Lynn
yeah,
Grissett on there that you're like,
yeah,
hopefully it'll see the light of day in our lifetimes.
I'm pretty sure if they released a compilation of new music once every year, they would never run out of music.
Yeah.
Probably.
Amazing work ethic and productivity with Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know you mentioned a lot of the after you did those Paisley After Dark jams on stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what was going on there? Was a stripped down, not as many musicians in the horns.
But it was like a it was like a club show. There's
Mhm.
less space, so you can't really cram 11 horns, in a space like that. So it was kind of treated like a more intimate, um, like club kind of vibe, where people just chilling.
The lights turned down low, right?
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It was a mood thing. It was a vibe kind of thing. I feel it was.
Have you been back to Paisley Park since Prince passed?
Yes, a few times.
Okay. What were
First,
the occasions?
it was first series of tribute performances we did, and also um, the last time I was there was also for celebration,
That's
which
right.
it's been about close to 4 years ago now. So I haven't
So,
been back in a while.
so did you I know Syncing Up, they had the performance with the actual concert video. Were you part of that at all? Playing along with it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
How difficult is that?
it really, honestly, and I remember talking to Kirk about this,
Mhm.
and it's literally just like he's there. You're literally following his cues. It's literally, you know, it didn't feel if it to us it felt natural because there he is right there for us to see, and everything's cued like very clearly, exactly how he would normally do it. So it was actually, you know actually wonderful to me.
Right.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course, we wanted to actually, of course, we wanted it to be him, but but that's what we had.
Yeah. I think Kirk was a big part of that, right? As far as
Oh
getting the
yeah,
players together. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Did you play a lot with John Blackwell?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was cool.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about us is that we would always talk about how, well, first of all, we're both from Carolina.
Yeah. South Carolina for him, right?
Yeah, and we both have the same birthday, September 9th.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, we both have Gullah Geechee heritage.
Oh, wow. Yeah. He never mentioned that. That's cool.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was, thinking back, like immediately after Prince passed away, we had 2 weeks, 2 shows in the span of 2 weeks with various people, talking about Prince and their memories. And I mean, John actually was one of the people, he was on the show like 6 or 7 times.
Hmm.
And, not too long ago, he had passed from, the brain tumor cancer. So, yeah, he called me January 1st, New Year's Day. And I said, how you doing, John? And he said, I'm just learning how to walk. And I guess he never got back to form like that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Cool player though. Good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was awesome. Like I said, he used to call me Miles all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was no, he's a beautiful cat.
Yeah. Yeah. I got his drum skin sign right behind. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, rest in peace, John Blackwell and Prince. Man, some two of the biggest in the music business. Yeah, for
Oh yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm very very. I just have to say it. I'm very very thankful that I was able to to be around these people and to work with these people, and to learn so much from them, and to have been treated so well, and to it's just a wonderful thing. I can't complain about anything, honestly. Um, you know, I'm sure people think that there will be grievances, but you know, what I learned and the experience that I had, and coming into contact with human beings, so gifted and good people, it was just, I'll cherish that. I'll cherish that till, eternally, honestly.
Right. Yeah. As far as the horn alumni with Prince, he had various horn players. Have you met some of the from the previous years?
We've met members of the Hornheads.
Okay. Yeah. Michael B. He was on our show. Yeah.
But as far as, of course, Greg Boyer, of course,
Yeah.
Maceo,
Yeah. Atlanta Bliss. Did you ever meet him? He's a cool guy, trumpet player. Yeah. Him and Eric Leeds were and Eddie Minifield. Yeah.
I got to meet Mr. Leeds briefly.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as horn players, yeah, those that I've mentioned are the ones that I can recall meeting.
Yeah, Michael B. and a few of the players in there, they're playing with Corey Wong or have been for years. Yeah.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's transfer right now to present times. Our mutual friend Elliot Levine, you guys are. He told me, is it every week you guys gig together?
Yes. Well,
okay. Tell us about that.
So, Leroy Harper Jr. and the All Stars. Leroy Harper Jr. He's from Long, South Carolina, but he was also a member of James Brown's band for a long time. And so we have a weekly gig at this place called the Star Tavern, which is in Little River, South Carolina. So we play there every Monday from 7 to 11:30, consistently every Monday. And so that's how I met Elliot.
Okay. Yeah, he just moved down there from Maryland. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Elliot's wonderful.
Yeah, he's got the smile all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves what he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
How far is the drive for you going down there?
About 30 minutes.
Okay, so that's not bad. Yeah.
Half hour.
Yeah. So what kind of music are you playing? A mix of funk, R&B?
Funk, R&B, all the classic songs, from, definitely a whole lot of Motown, whole lot of funk, whole lot of blues.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Delta, Mississippi, just a lot of blues, a lot of funk.
Do you do a lot of session work for other musicians?
On occasion, not so much now. I've really been focusing a lot on teaching and practicing, playing. But every now and again I get called for session work. As a matter of fact, a recent recording that I was involved in was the Uptown Jazz Orchestra. Just released a recording.
Oh, okay. Where can people go for that?
Uptown Jazz Orchestra is Delphia Marsalis's large ensemble.
Okay.
So if you go to his website, which is his name basically, and you can find all the information on that.
How about your own record? I know.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been working on it, right?
I have a recording of that the goal is for it to be finished by September of this year.
Oh, okay.
And released by December of this year.
So what's it called? And is it a quartet or just?
It's really a combination of duo, trio, quartet, quintet compositions, and those are things that we've been doing so far. And that's the goal is for everything to be finished by September and released by December. And so it's mostly original music, but also there's also some standards that we play, that we do in our own way that we feel is interesting and we'd like to share it with people.
And then after that, you hopefully take it out on the road, right? That would be nice.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
You got to get up to the Montreal Jazz Festival up in Canada.
Yeah, I would love to do that again.
Yeah, that's where my wife's from, so we used to go up every year. Yeah, so
awesome.
I saw Prince there. It was Roy Hargrove joined him on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's funny going to the gig. Not that gig. It was the same festival. I got in an elevator and it was Christian McBride, Roy Hargrove, and Russell Malone. The four of us going down, and I didn't really know they were. I didn't know them, to be honest, but I was going to their show, and then Roy jumps on stage for the big show with Prince.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that was. I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah. I mean, Roy passed, but yeah, Christian, and he's doing real well. I think Russell passed as well. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, right. Where can people go to get in contact or find out the latest and greatest with Lynn Grissett?
Oh, you can find me on all social media platforms. Just my name, LYNNGRISSETT. So any social media that you can find, I often post what I'm working on and how I'm doing it, and when things are happening on those platforms. Definitely Facebook. You can hit me up on Facebook for sure.
Yeah, I guess you got to do them all to stay out there.
You got to spread yourself out there.
Exactly. You keep in contact with your partners from the NPG Hornz a lot?
Oh, absolutely. Especially I mean, we all remain in contact, all of us.
Right.
Yeah, especially the horns.
Yeah. It's funny when I saw the show December 2013 in Connecticut, I wrote up a little review of it and I sent it to whoever I could reach in the band and everything. I sent it, and Adrian wrote back to me. I was complimentary of the horns. I said a great show, the NPG Hornz and everything. And he wrote back, he goes, yeah, it's good you wrote about it, but what about the horns? I guess he wanted more about the horns.
Well, I mean,
which I did. I was very complimentary, but
yeah.
It was just a little funny thing.
Well, hey, I mean, that's Adrian. He's gonna he's gonna make sure that we're heard. He's a solid guy.
Yeah. He was playing on. I suppose it was Prince's last project, right? Black is the New Black. Yeah. You had already left by then. I mean,
no one had really left. We were all just at home, just chilling. It was just a normal. We're at home when we're home, and when we get the call, you get the itinerary, you go to work. We were all just kind of chilling.
Yeah, I was always curious about that because with Prince, when a project, you take a little pause from it. Did he meet with you guys and tell you directly, or was it relayed, or how did that work out?
Hold on, ask that one more time. I'm sorry.
Let's say you guys are recording, doing gigs and everything like that, and it's like he decides, okay, we're going to take a little break. Does he tell you directly, or does he have someone to run it by the band members that we're going to chill for a little bit?
It depends on when he decides. I mean, he could probably send us home to say, hey, just go home for a couple of days. We'll be right back. And he could probably change his mind and say, hey, well, give him about a week. Then we'll bring him back or whatever, if he had made a decision at the time that we were there, then he would tell us directly. But if we were like not around him, then yeah, he would relay a message through someone.
Right. Yeah, sorely missed, and I'm happy I got to see you play with him. So
I'm happy that you got to see us. It was like when I tell you, I plan on writing down my memories in detail, and I'll be sure to be in contact with you, Mr. Kelley, about it.
Health-wise, we're not going anywhere, so we all got to stay healthy. But yeah, our intention is to be right here. So I'm sure you got a lot of experiences, firsthand experiences. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I was fortunate because I got to run into these amazing people.
Stevie, right? Stevie Wonder.
Oh yeah. He's a trip. I mean, in a good way.
Right.
I met him in an interesting way. So we were in DC, and we were doing a surprise birthday party for Michelle Obama, First Lady.
Oh, okay, right.
And so Stevie was there, And so he decided he wanted to do some songs with us. But anyways, after the party, Prince had this restaurant open up for us and accommodate us for some late night dinner. And so everyone else got there before the Horns received word, and so we arrived there after everyone, and the only seat that was available that was left whenever I got there was next to Stevie. So that's how I met him.
Wow.
It's funny. He has an interesting way of greeting you. Like if he doesn't know you, he'll take his hand and he'll like put it on your chest like this, and he'll say, "Who are you?" You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I was to his right,
Mhm.
and so he takes his right hand and puts it on my chest, and he says, "Who are you?" And I tell him I'm Lynn. He said, "Oh, the trumpet player." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Oh, okay, nice to meet you." You know. So
Oh, he knew it. That's nice.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't know him, but apparently he knew my name. You know.
Yeah. That's right.
which is
That's
wonderful. I mean, it was very humbling. Very
yeah.
humbling.
He was actually him and got first concert I ever went to was Stevie Wonder Hotter Than July tour, and Gil Scott-Heron opened up. So
Wow.
yeah, you never forget that. It was 3-hour plus show, and we missed the last train. I think I was 15 years old. So
Wow.
yeah. And Marva King was on the gig as well. She sang background with Stevie then. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, you ever hit the extra note with Prince in concert with all the horns going? You ever hit an extra note? It was just you. I always worry for horn players.
There was one time where I thought I was in trouble to where like he had made a last minute adjustment to a horn part, but he did it on the fly, like real quick. You know, it's like if you weren't really listening, like with Doppler radar, you know, you would hear him. But he said it so quick, you know, a lot of the guys didn't catch it. But anyways, I was the odd man out whenever we were taping Arsenio.
Oh yeah. Mutiny.
Yeah, Mutiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's this one part where like, well, that whole part I just sang, he took that out at the very last second, like right before we started taping. And so I just play like a little, you know, and he has like a look on his face, and he almost looks at me. You know, you'll see it on video, but that's the only time I almost got in trouble.
Yeah. How many times did he go down, up and down? You guys had to bring it at the.
Oh man, see, no, you had to be in shape, like I said earlier. You know, like holding a horn, and blowing air through it, and like squatting up and down with him. You know, that's kind of a challenge physically. So
yeah,
you know, it's another level. It's another level with him. You know, you got to be in shape. You got to be able to keep up with him. And the fact that he had as much energy as he had, that totally amazed me. You know, I was just really in awe of how well he was taking care of himself and how he was able to move the way he was moving. And he didn't sweat either. That's another thing that kind of baffled me about Prince, is that he didn't sweat. As hard as he would be dancing,
he was. Yeah, I did see Montreux. It looked like he was white. I don't know if it was tears or sun from his forehead, a little sweat, but that was like, yeah, you're right. He wasn't a guy bringing the towel too much on stage and, you know, standing. Yeah. So he was working from the get-go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely a hardworking dude for sure.
Yeah. So listen, Lynn, man, I really appreciate it. It's an honor to have you on the show. You know, what's really exciting is you've got projects coming up, your own record, and got to have you on when the new record comes out.
Yeah. I'll be in touch with you about it for sure.
Mm-hmm. And say hi to Elliot Monday night. Say hi to Leroy. Yeah.
I will for sure. For sure.
And hit Lynn Grissett, all the social media. We'll have the links in our description here on YouTube and also all the major platforms for audio. So thanks, brother, for coming on. It's been a great talk with you.
Thank you, Brother Kelley.
All right. Lynn Grissett.